All right, welcome everyone to the second episode of TesterSpeak. I'm Brijesh Dev, your host, and today with me I have Shefali Jain, a friend from the testing community. She is been absolutely vocal about certain issues in testing. She is, inspired a lot of people to talk about testing and resonates with me in the idea of having a voice and helping others find their voice. Welcome to the show, Shefali.
Hi, Brijesh. Thank you for having me.
So, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Lockdown and all, so it's all good. Just trying to cope up with the situation that is there in the world. So yeah, currently working from home.
And how's the work from home going for you?
Work from home is pretty good. I mean, just for few issues that we have, like the network issues, then the electricity issues that we have in India. So it's there, but as of from work perspective, I think it's good because in my organization we already had this policy in place. It was just
Okay.
that people were not allowed. Yeah, but people were not allowed. Policy was there, but yeah, because of certain reasons, people were not allowed to work from home. We can discuss this, of course. But yeah, now it's the mandate and it's the new normal, so work from home is fine.
So do you think, Shafali, there are certain things which restrict you from working from home in terms of application security or anything like that, or is it a perception that uh, that is there where people who are thinking, this thing will not work and people will not be as productive as we expect them to be while they are in office? What do you think was the reason why work from home was? I mean, the policy existed, but nobody was allowed to work from home.
Yeah, so if we talk about this, I think it is the perception most importantly. Security issues, I think already IT team is there, which takes care about all those things, and that is the reason that the laptops or the system are configured that way. I think it is the perception that the management here have that working from home means less productivity. Working from home means you're not attentive, you're not paying attention to the calls, then you're not actually working, you're just logged in and you are roaming here and there. That is what the perception is. But I think, according to me, a person who is actually serious about his or her work will be productive as, I mean, if he is in office or she's working from home. I think productivity doesn't affect because of the place from where you're working. It is just about the mindset that people have that working from home actually is not working from home. But now, if you talk about the new normal, since there is not an option that people cannot go to office and now we have to work from home, so all of a sudden the trust that we did not have in each other as a team is now we have a lot of trust on each other that yes, if this work is assigned to a person, now they will complete and give it in time because they do not have an option. So yeah, so all of a sudden what WFH is very productive. And if you see around, actually people are working more when they are connected from home. When you were in office, you were at least taking certain breaks, that tea break, that gossip break, then whatnot. So I think people were not on their desk and having fun around for some time. And now at home, you do not have an option to go out, of course. So you cannot give them a reason that it's 6:30 or it's 7 o'clock in the evening. We can log off, and because we need to go out, we have certain commitments. So people know that we are not stepping out anyways. So okay, 12 hours is fine. You can also work. 13 hours is also fine. So that is one drawback I would say of working from home. But if you see as a whole picture, I think it's new normal, and I think organizations will be, supporting it in future.
Well, I think you've made a very good point, and that point is about trust, right? That uh, the entire lockdown thing and the work from home thing has shown the world that with trust you can win battles. And in organizations which were strictly against work from home was enforced on them, and they realized that, oh, this thing works. And
Right.
you're right, people are in fact more productive, and studies have shown that people have delivered more than what they could from office, and the reasons are obviously lesser breaks, people are at it constantly. However, you mentioned a drawback, and I agree to it, that people believe that since you're not going to step out, it's kind of expected that you will spend 12 hours, 30 hours. Well, that expectation should not be there. The same rules apply. You're still living with the same family. You still have the same friends. You still want to have a chat with them, do a phone call or video call or whatever. Or if you're in your house, spend time with your parents, your spouse, your kids, your or whatever. I mean, or do your own thing. I mean, if
Yeah,
somebody wants to,
because I
just take a
think
break.
this is still a home. Okay, you're working from home. You're not at
Right,
work, so you have to manage both the things, work and home.
right,
So
right. So work-life balance is absolutely important, and I agree with you that that drawback needs to go out. People need to be aware, more cognizant about the fact that yes, there is a life outside of work, and there needs to be a balance. That brings me to a very interesting question that I've always been curious about. What has been your journey as a tester? How did you begin? How did you get into testing?
okay, so I would say that I started off, accidentally, that I got into testing. It was not one thing that was planned. So, if you talk about my career, I started with a tech support job that was with Verizon. So, I started from there. So, it was a good experience for me because, again, it was an exposure. It was an exposure that how you interact with people, how you can be professional, then how you are actually interacting with the person who is not in India, who is out of India. So, you need to understand the language, you need to understand the accent, then you need to understand that what that person is going through. Tech support is all about how humble you are with another person, how frustrated, how irritated you are. It doesn't matter, you have to talk nicely to people whatever your mood is. So that was one important thing that I learned from my first job. Then, of course, tech support was not my thing. It was just a platform to, just get out of my home, my hometown, and just get into some big city MNC so that I can try my hands out on the job. So yes, tech support, and meanwhile I was also searching for jobs, as I have done BTech, and I am from electronics and communication background. So I started from Delhi. So there I started giving interviews in the core companies for electronics, but that was back in 2012, and the situation was not very good at the time. So of course there was no luck. So I moved to Pune. Then Pune at that time was actually starting to be the hub of IT jobs. So that was a good option to move here and explore opportunities. So when I came here, here we have certain institutes who provide you certifications on different courses. So be it testing, be it development. So whatever you are interested in, you can just opt it. And by the end of the course, they have the placements in place where you can just sit down and you know give interviews. So I joined one such course in Pune, and Development was not my stake from the very first day. I was not interested in coding at all. I'm still not interested, to be very clear. But yeah, so I did not choose development. Support again is one thing that is looked down these days, or a Babcock days. I don't know why, because all roles are equally important when you are doing a development. I mean, you are developing a product. All roles are equally important. None of the roles should be looked down. So at that point of time, I had people who were working in IT in my family. So they advised me that, you should not go into support role. You try and go into testing. Testing is, simpler for you. Testing is like being a girl. It is, yeah, you can manage things together, your job and your home. So why not go for testing? So to be honest, at that point of time, I did not have so much of knowledge about different profiles because I was just passed out from college, and 9 months into tech support job did not give me that exposure to IT thing. So I thought, okay, let's go for testing course, and I did it. In 1 month, I got like 2 or 3 offers from different MNCs in Pune, and I joined Tech Mahindra as my first organization, as my first, official IT job. So in Tech Mahindra again, it was not a testing profile. So it was a support job. So again, a job that I was not looking for, I did not prepare for. I landed into that. So there was, since it was new for me, so I had a lot of things to learn there as well. So I did not, make fuss about it that I don't want to do this job, I do not want to join, because I had to join. I needed to work. So I joined Tech Mahindra as a support project. So that was production support for AT&T. So I spent a quite good time there. It was three years around in that same project. I learned there a lot. Then again, production support is one of the most important roles actually, if you talk about in the industry. I don't know why people are looked down, but that's the most important, and the hard work that these people do, being in the production support, that's commendable. You have to be like sticking to your laptop. You have to check the logs, you have to check the connection, everything is up and running for the customer 24 by 7. So I think that's the most difficult job. So yes, then spending quite a lot of time there, I lost interest gradually in that because it was all shifts because of the US project. So I was not fitting into that. So my day and night were like turned around. So I thought I should get back to Indian time zone and keep a cycle that is proper here. So that was one reason from shifting from support job. Then secondly was that I already have done course on testing, so I had idea that what testing is, what it is all about, and what people are doing in it. So that interested me before also, and that was an interest to me then also. So while I was doing that job, um, so I think it is stuck or something. You can hear me, Brajesh?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that was one reason for switching from support profile, and second reason was I was interested and I was preparing for testing. I was studying along with my current profile, so I was into testing at that time also. So in the same organization, I started giving interviews, so that just to check my knowledge, that I can change my profile and be into testing. So again, I got through another project within Tech Mahindra itself, that was Vodafone Australia. So that was a good project. I really learned a lot in testing, agile, how to be on your toes, how to be, just attentive and do whatever task you are doing at that same point of time in that limited period of time actually. So I learned from there that, for testing, you have to keep your eyes and ears open every time. So that was one thing that I learned from that project, and it got me a good exposure to testing. So I started giving interviews outside, and I got selected for one of my dream organizations. So that is my current organization, that is Amdocs. So Amdocs was one of the company that I wanted to join because of the culture that I have heard outside, that it's a product-based company and culture is really good, and I would say it is. So it was all by accident, yes. So I'm here now with all my experience into testing, and I have been learning every day. I will not say that still I'm a good tester. I would not say that. I'm still learning, and I want to become good in it. And let's see where the career takes me, of course.
Well, for somebody with a great academic record like yours, to go through this kind of a journey is probably an experience in itself. And I know, based on our interactions, that you are quite good. You are quite humble in saying that you are still not good. I would say you're good. Of course, there are avenues for us to get better, and with time, we of course do get better at doing things. So I would disagree that you are not good. You're good. It's just that, given the right opportunity, you will excel in it, and you will show how good you are. That's my personal take, based on our interaction and based on your interaction with other testers in the test chat community. And so, talking about some of the things that you spoke about, that you're a girl, it'll be easy for you as a tester, okay, and testing is very simple, things like that. So we hear such things, misconceptions. We have a lot of bias against testing. Why do you think that is, and how do you think we as testers can overcome that? I know you have been fighting against it. You have been doing it really well. So, what is your take on the whole thing?
Okay. Now I've spent quite a lot of time in the industry, and now I know how things work in an organization. I would say testing is actually looked down by many of the folks in the organization, because they think that, testing, anyone can do testing. You can just hear seeing developers, roaming around and saying, you're not doing any, commendable job, or you're not doing anything special. Testing that you are doing, anyone can do. So this is the misconception that is prevailing in the industry today as well. I think it is because of the culture that is there in the organization, that testing is not given a proper time in the whole software development life cycle, or in the product that they are working on. It is just considered as, what should I say, we are just considered as gatekeepers, just for the defects. We are there for defects. So we are there to just search for something that is not working, or just point out certain issues to the development team. So we are there for those issues. So in developers point of view, or in the management point of view, that could be done by any person. We are not doing anything special. So I really disagree on that, because if anyone could have been doing it, then why not, just assign that job to some of the scrum masters or some of the developers, let them do testing on their own. Why why you need special team required for testing. Uh, we have certain issues, I guess.
No, no
Okay.
issues.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I was saying that this is because of the development team or the management. But I think testing is important. You cannot go live with any of the product without testing. So I would not talk about unit testing because that is not my job. So I would not talk about it. Rather, I would talk about different types of testing that are there in place. But if you talk in agile, testing is not given a proper time. The time frame that is actually promised is not given for the testing team to perform because of the certain issues in the industry. That is like development team requires more time to code, so that code is not developed on time, so they'll take more days. Then environment is not ready, it will take more days, and the days actually we are left with are just few days. I should say 2 days, 3 days. It's just less for us.
That means 2 days in a sprint of 2 weeks or something like that, is it?
Yes, yes. So 2 days in a sprint where you are giving time for the developers to actually write the code, why we are not given time to actually, inspect everything and then do our testing? Why we are being rushed on our work, and then again, if there are issues, we are the ones who are questioned, Developers or the other stakeholders, the product owners, nobody else is questioned. We are questioned that why testing did not complete in time, why these defects were missed, why these test cases were not covered. So we are the ones who are questioned. Why, I would like to ask that why we are not given time, the equal time actually that what you are been giving it to the development team to develop. So we also need time to, inspect the product, then take the knowledge what the product is, read all the documents, go through the backlog, talk to the product owners. We need time. Okay, so it is not just that, you give certain things and anybody could test. They could test. I would not say no, they could test. But again, that's not testing. That is what they are just checking. This is working or this is not working. So that is not testing. So if you talk about testing, it has to be deep. It has to be, with all the knowledge of the product, and it has to go along what starting from the first day, when you are getting into the cycle of the development. It is like testers role start from the very first day. It is not that you are giving testers when everything is done and you just hand over the documents and ask them, okay, now you may start testing. No, I have been against it. I have been speaking about it in my organization as well to my managers that you need to involve me from the very first day. I need to know what development is doing. I need to know what product owners are suggesting the solutions around it. I need to know that how you came up on this particular solution. What made you come to this particular solution? I also want to know things. I also want to learn what this product is actually doing. So this is like giving equal opportunities, I would say. That is what we require right now, that testers need to have the equal opportunities so that they can perform their job well.
So let me ask you this. I keep hearing from a lot of testers that we do not have access to the customer, we do not have access to the product owner, we do not have access to uh, the requirements when they are being developed. We get a version from development team. So Are you also facing that kind of a challenge?
Yes, yes, it is there. I mean, it is there. I would not disagree on that. We are not allowed to speak. I would not say allowed. It is not in the process. The process is designed that way that testers are not involved in those meetings. Those meetings are for the specialists, those meetings are for the product owners, for the customers. We are not invited for those meetings because, according to them, testers job doesn't start from there. Our job starts when the requirements and everything is ready and it is listed down in a proper way. So according to them, our job starts from there. So they think we are not as important as specialists or developer at that point of time, and that's the reason that we are not involved in those meetings. That is there in place. We also have discussed about it, and like one of our fellow testers, like he explained, it is all about, I would say, right opportunities. But what we want, I mean, of course, we are doing our jobs. We have to show them, that how important we are. So we have to be ready with all our points that we have to, if we are facing certain issues in the sprint, and when we are sitting down for the retrospective after every sprint, so we have to, give those points. We have to put it on the table that, these were the issues that I faced as a tester in the last sprint, and what all things we can do to improve it in the next sprint. So there might be people who would agree to it and accept it and do it in the next sprint. There might be people who would disagree to it, do not accept it, and continue as they are going on. So I know it will take time to change this, but we
Yeah.
cannot stop trying. So we
Yeah.
have to try.
Yes. So yeah, of course, mindset change takes a bit of time. In fact, a lot of time. Sometimes it takes generations to change the mind. And when I speak of generations, is at least 25 years is one generation is what is my thinking. So if you're thinking that okay, things have to change, we may take 25 to 50 years to change the outlook towards testing. It is quite sad, in my opinion, that people in the industry, despite knowing the things about agile and about technology and stuff like that, still do things like okay, testing is not very important. We can involve them later, which means that they are talking about agile, but they are thinking in a waterfall way that okay, testing will
Yeah,
come later. We can involve
yeah,
them later, but it does not necessarily help. Okay, and that to me is the root of a lot of problems. I mean, you get issues in production, and that's when you catch hold of a tester. No, you should catch hold of the person who put in that requirement there. Ask him what happened. What happened after this? Who did you discuss this with? I mean, start it from there. Was the tester involved right from the first day? I've seen people do a lot of root cause analysis and miss that very question. Where the testers involved early, and most often that question is skipped or they don't even bother about it. They
yeah,
restrict their root cause analysis to the technical aspect. They forget the fact that testers are the people who will be helping you look at risks, okay, who will help you understand what the practical implications of something can be, what can go wrong possibly, because testers have this
vision, I
mindset,
should say. Yeah,
yeah, of thinking, and that's what testers are supposed to be doing. They're supposed to think critically. They're supposed to use all their analytical skills to analyze the problems, and if and it is a specialist job. I mean, so for people not to believe that testing is not a specialist job and they can come in later is one of the biggest misconceptions, and I must commend you, Shefali, for bringing this up. Now, there is another dimension to all this. Okay, we are talking about work environment where we see challenges where management thinks, okay, testing can be involved later, or development people think, oh, testers, your job is quite easy. But there is another dimension to it, and that is society as such. Okay, society also disregards testers. I have seen that in my experience. I've spoken to students in the university level, and all of them, they want to go to development because they think development is cool and testing is not so cool.
Yeah.
What is your take on the society looking down on testers?
See, first of all, because of all the misconceptions that are there in the society, and they are being talked about a lot. Okay, people are talking about how development is important. People are talking about how coding is important. Then everybody is talking about that. That is the reason I think the initiative that you started, that nothing called manual testing. Actually, we have to talk about it a lot, because being a tester, I think your first responsibility or your first skill, I would say, is to be vocal. Is how good you communicate with people, how good you communicate with the stakeholders. So it is because we are not talking about it. We are not talking about what is the importance of testing. We are not talking about why testing is being looked down, and people are just running behind coding. People are just running behind development because they think that testing has no future. Okay, so they think about that point, and they think that if you take a line today, if you choose a profile today, so what will you do after 10 years, or what will you do after 5 years? So students who are coming out from the colleges, they have this mindset. So they are like, maybe down the line 5 years, testing would disappear, and then what I will do? So I think I should go for development. Development will always be there. So I would want to say that if development will be there, then testing will also be there. Okay,
Exactly.
you cannot release any product without testing. So I read it somewhere, like people say that big organizations like Apple, Facebook, these organizations do not have testers. But I would want you to go through it and just Google about it. They have testers in place, okay? Not in their organization. They are giving their work to other organizations, to other testers who are sitting somewhere else and doing their testing for them. If they are releasing Apple Music, if they are releasing certain updates, they are not releasing it without testing. Somebody somewhere around the globe is testing it, and then they are releasing it. So I would want to say testing is as important. It will be important in coming years as well, because we have been listening. Like now I am like around 8 years of my experience in the industry. I got to hear it when I started my career, that there's no future in testing. I still get to hear it that there will be no future in testing, but I don't agree to it.
Well, well, in our previous episode, I was talking to our friend Ali Bayo, and he mentioned the same thing. That 20 years ago, when he started his journey, he heard that testing has no future. 20 years later, we see that testers are doing a lot of work,
Yeah,
and we still get to hear testing has no future. So 20 years after today, in 2040, we'll still hear the same thing, and testers will still be
exactly.
needed. I mean, it is, in my opinion, a very silly kind of a thought where people start thinking, testing we can do without it. You cannot. And the very fact that people think that okay, something like automation testing or AI now can actually replace testers, and we are okay not hiring testers. Well, you may not be hiring designated testers, you may not be having designated testers, but there's a lot of testing going on. People test, right? if they do not test within your organization, people test it from outside. Your customers test, your users test, and they give you feedback, and then you fix the problems. So it is not that you can do without testing. You cannot. You are absolutely right in saying that, Shefali. And I like the way you put this across. And so, how do you think this societal bias, or the bias amongst these students, the youngsters who are coming up and choosing the profession of testing, how do you think we can fix that? Do you have any thoughts around it?
Okay, so I would want to say to the testing community, I would want to, make a call to people who are in testing for like quite some time now. I want people who are testing or testers to take a stand for themselves. You need to come up and speak about your job. You have to respect your job. You just cannot say that we are into testing by accident, or we are just here because we were not aware about different options earlier. Okay, fine, that could be from where you started because you did not have knowledge, but who is stopping you now to gain knowledge about what you are doing? I mean, who is stopping you to take a stand on and speak up about yourself and about your job? Nobody is. I mean, this is a free nation. You could just stand up and speak about it. I mean, it is all about getting your thoughts to a platform. Okay, so for this, LinkedIn, I would say, is a very good platform where people talk about everything that is going around, and you can just start talking about it. So I would want testers to come up and say people that we are here. You need to say, you need to make your presence feel that we are also there. You just cannot ignore us. And if you ignore us, then you will be facing the consequences later after you deliver the product. You try and ignore the tester, you try ignore testing, I'm sure you'll get it back. So that is what testers need to do as of now. Just start it from where you are. Start it from your own team. Start it from your own daily meetings. Just ask questions. Ask what is going on here, why this is not happening, why we are given less time, why. I mean, okay, every time you will not be answered, every time your questions will not be acknowledged, it's fine. Why you have to stop? So it's our responsibility to get testing into a better picture and educate people. I mean, the new freshers or people who are coming out of colleges, educate them about testing, educate the importance of testing in the industry. So we have spent a lot of time in the industry, so I think we understand it. And but if you'll not talk about it, nobody will gonna know about it, right? So LinkedIn is very good platform. Then we have different conferences going on. We have our group, the test chat group. Then we have this channel that we are trying to communicate to people. So I think people just need to speak up, and starting from testers. Like I have been hearing developers talking about their job a lot. Why? Because they are proud of what they are doing. They are like development is one thing that you cannot survive without. So testing is same. I mean, why people think that you can survive without testing, or the product can go live without testing? No. So we as a community need to take a stand for our job.
Yeah, like I say, you have to be proud of what you're doing. What you exactly said, that take pride in being a tester. Know that, okay, what you're doing is something really cool. You are trying to make people's life better by making sure that software does not have any problems. You've identified everything, you've reported everything, and then hope that whoever takes the decisions regarding those products is paying enough attention to the observations that you have shared, and they make it better. Of course, your job as a tester is to report, and then it's up to the product owner to consider your opinion or not. You can't do anything about it. But as a tester, your job is to give the information to the relevant stakeholders so that they can take that decision that is important. And then, once the customer is happy using that product, then you can feel a sense of satisfaction saying, you know what, I tested this. It looks so
Yeah.
cool because I tested it. So, have that sense of pride, and you're absolutely right in talking about it. And talking about platforms, yes, of course, LinkedIn is great, Twitter is great, but the test chat is also great. so,
Yeah.
so, yeah, so be a part of it, and I'm glad that we have a group where enthusiastic testers such as you and many others are there, and we must tell, and I would like to tell the viewers that the community that we have, the group that we have, has a good number of women testers who are doing really well in the industry. So and it is I don't know, Shefali, if you've heard of it or not, but still there is a sort of a gender bias that also exists. Right?
I think
Certain group
so.
of certain gender can do this job better, and certain gender cannot. And this bias is especially for people in technology. So it was always believed that men could handle technology better than women. We've seen some wonderful work being done by women in the industry. Within testing, we have a lot of women doing absolutely phenomenal work. And within our group, when we talk about, when we look at some of the interactions happening, the inputs that come in from the women testers is absolutely incredible. I mean, it shows that, okay, uh, if not better, they are very much at par with the men testers. And what amazes me is the ability that they have in managing family, managing their kids, doing everything, and then yet giving you that 101% in their job. You spoke about
Yeah,
productivity
so
and extra work.
if I talk
All,
about gender bias, I would want people to actually not, do that. I would actually want people to think from that perspective that it is all about interest. It's not about you're a girl or you're a boy. I mean, certain people are not interested in coding. Certain people are not interested in development. They are not as enthusiastic as you are because it doesn't interest them. So it is all about interest. I don't know why you are talking, because I'm not saying that development is not done by women. I mean, development is also being done by women as men are doing it. So it is all about interest. I mean, anybody could have interest in what they are doing. So if I'm curious, if I like to, not create, show the issues or the problems that we have in the system to the people who are actually developing it, that's my interest. I mean, I love doing it. I love inspecting the application. I love raising certain issues that I see to the concerned people, because that interests me. Writing a piece of code doesn't interest me. I mean, yes, at certain point of time I will do it, but that is because the need of that particular application or need for particular kind of testing. Yes, we do it, but you cannot say that people choose testing because they are not competent enough. I'm sorry,
yeah,
this is not the right reason.
absolutely.
So that needs to be changed. That mindset of people needs to be changed.
Yeah, yeah. I couldn't agree more with you, Shafali. This is where the mindset thingy comes in, and the thing is, the more we talk about it, the more problems or biases that we can unearth, and we can see that there are already a lot of biases against testing. I've been speaking about it. We have been discovering a lot of them as we are speaking in our group, and you are absolutely right. It is the onus is on testers to actually take it back to the community and say, hey guys, I see a flag here. I see this is a problem. And it is for us to go back to students and try and educate them. I do not know when the education system will be revamped and we will see testing as a formal course in say engineering colleges or somewhere, or even we will have a degree in testing. I do not know when that is going to happen. But then people have to realize that testing is not a pushover thing that you can just walk over it, or you could just say, hey, you are a tester. Have, not important. You're not an important person or something like that. Well, okay. Having spoken so much about all this, now I want to ask you something which is a little different from what we have been talking about. So I know that you are a very passionate tester and you like testing a lot, and that's something that you always do to have fun. So you have fun while testing, right? What else do you do for fun?
Okay. So talking about my social life, I'm very social. I'm an extrovert. I like to talk to people. I like to go out and enjoy myself. Yes, due to this pandemic situation, things have turned upside down for me because I was not a person who could stay at one place or at home for quite a long time. I'm not that kind of person. So if on weekdays also, if I would get a chance to go out and dance to certain music, go to a pub and have some fun, I mean, it doesn't stop me, that it's a weekday and fun is just for weekends. No, no, I don't believe in that. It is like each day you have to live. Each day is important in your life. That is what I believe. So I work out to be healthy. So I used to go to gym when things were normal. Then not when things were not normal. I started with my home workout. I was quite regular, like with my office timings. I used to log out, and after that, my 1 hour dedicated to my work, I mean workout, and then all my things. So it was included in my routine. So I did home workouts. Then I started cycling recently. I have started uh, I should say, developing a new hobby. So I've been doing cycling like from 15 days now. So that's like I cover 13, 14 kilometers in a day. I make sure I do that and I come back home like tired enough so that I feel that I've done something in this day. I do not want to go to sleep regretting that I did not do anything today. I do not want that. So I either watch a new movie in my free time, or I either start a new book whenever I get time. So I I actually don't stop. I never stop. I am always on my toes. I'm always ready to learn. I'm always ready to experience new things in my life. So that's what my motto is. And it's like I'm very stubborn. I'm very adamant about things. If I want something, for sure, I'll make sure that what I believe, that I will either find a way or make one for myself. So that is what my motto in life is.
Excellent, excellent. I think that is a great message. Find your way or make one for yourself. Excellent thing. For the love of your cycling, you're most welcome to the Netherlands. You will find a lot of
Yes,
cycles,
yes, I've heard
lot of
about it.
lot of bicycles around, and a lot of bicycle tracks around.
Mhm. That is one issue I would say in India, that we do not have
Yeah.
particular tracks for cycles. That is one issue that I realized.
Here it's pretty good, and this is a way of life here. Okay, and about reading or doing something. Which is the latest book you've been reading?
Okay. So asking that, I would say I have it here on my bed itself. It's Buddha in Testing that I started.
Wow.
And
Can you show the whole book? Lift it up a little bit, and yeah.
so this is the book by Pradeep
Yeah.
Saundarajan, who is a CEO of Mulya Testing. I heard him in the last conference that was Tribal QNF. So I heard him speaking. I was really inspired by the way he had put testing in front of the viewers. I was like, okay, I am not the only one who has this mindset. You know, we have a lot of people in the industry who are actually talking about it. So I started following him, and then, yes, as we discussed in the chat, you suggested, many other people suggested that I should go ahead and read this book, and I ordered it same day. I got my copy, and I swear, I loved every bit of it he has written. It's like, I'm talking to myself. It's like too commendable. He has put all of the issues and with the misconceptions, and also how we as a tester have to be at peace, realizing what is going around. It is like how we accept things, and along with it we try and change things. It's a good book. I would recommend to all the testing community, all the people who have not gone through, just go ahead and read this. You'll love it.
Well, yeah, that is, in fact, one of the last testing books even I read, and I was talking to Pradeep a few days ago, just before TribalCon, and I told him that I finished the book in 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
It was so addictive, I could not stop. I started reading it, and I read all the way. It was, if there was a term called binge reading, just like binge
Right.
watching, I just did that. I finished the whole book in one go. And I did not stop there. I have read this book at least 6 to 7 times already, and every time I read it, it's very refreshing. I think Pradeep has done an excellent job. Pradeep, we are doing some marketing for you. If you are listening to
I
if you
also
are listening
realized
to
it, but yeah, it's okay. I mean, if good,
no,
then why
but
not?
in all honesty, this is an excellent book, and all testers across the globe need to read this, because this is, like you said, I mean, it is all about getting at peace with yourself as a tester and understanding what is going on, what is all the commotion, all the chaos, like Pradeep refers in his book, happening around you, and how can you be at peace despite all that chaos that is happening around you. And this brings us to the very ethos of forming this community that we are a part of. The idea was to educate people to understand, okay, there is, despite all the commotion, there are people as testers who can come together and bring peace, right? And we took advantage of the situation that people were at home, so people could not say that, oh, we are busy, we can't give you time. So we positioned
Right.
the making of the community in a way, in that way, and today we are a happy community of more than 160 testers within, like, what, almost a month about or so. And
Month.
this also gave us an opportunity of attending a conference together. A lot of us did. Around, I think, around 40 people from the group attended the conference,
Yes.
and we were able to listen to the speakers together and have our side commentary going on. This is an eye opener. This is so wonderful. I didn't know about this concept. Uh,
True.
uh, I got a chance to speak in the conference. I got a lot of good feedback, valuable feedback from within the community. within our group, and of course from the rest of the testers. So this is all very good, and I think we need more people like you, Shefali, where who are passionate and who want to talk about things, who want to make life easy for other testers. So let me put it that way. And finally, what I would want to hear from you is your message to the young testers, who have just started their career or who are aspiring to be testers. What would you say to them?
Okay, first thing I would want to say is do not get caught in the rat race that is going around. Okay, use your brains, then investigate and study about what you want to pursue. Okay, do not just get into it. I understand that sometimes you're not given an option and you just land and do a job. That's fine. So it is all about how well you know that profile, how well you know that what is going around. So I would want that interact with the people of your community, connect with them on LinkedIn. I mean, nobody will say on no that no, we do not want to discuss on certain things, we do not want to chat with you. I mean, I have been receiving a lot of DMs whenever I post about any certain issue that is going on in the industry. I get a lot of messages from people, what, that we are also facing this issue, we are also going through this. So it is like, just talk to people, talk to the people who are there in the industry. uh, Second I would want is read books. Okay, read a lot of books. And books, I mean, I would not go just for fiction things, of course that is one thing, but read a lot of books that are there in testing. I have few lined up for me as well. I'll purchase, and I'll also start reading another books very soon. So reading is one thing that is an eye opener. You will not find certain things on the internet or anywhere. So just go through some expert material, and do not form an opinion about anything very early. If you don't know about it, do not form an opinion about it. You need to get into it first, then form an opinion that what is right and what is wrong. So yeah, that's the message I would want to give to the people who are starting with their careers or into testing. Just be confident, love your job, whatever you are doing. uh, do not let anyone look down upon you. Just give them back in a polite way, in a subtle way. I'm not saying to just stand and fight, but yeah, just make your presence feel in a right way, I would say.
Thank you for that wonderful message, Shefali. I think this will help a lot of young testers, and I want to thank you for being a guest in our TesterSpeak series. I think we had a wonderful discussion. We will, of course, keep talking, and we want to hear your voice more and more within the community. So I look forward to hosting you again, down the line. And it was indeed a pleasure talking to you, Shefali.
Same here, Brijesh. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was quite a nice experience. I mean, given a platform to talk about what you are actually facing in day-to-day work is what we need. So I think I would give all the credits to you that you are doing a superb job by getting all the testers at one platform so that we could discuss and talk about it and put it to the people who are there watching us. So I think big thanks to you for having me and inviting me to this episode.
Well, thank you so much, Shefali, for those kind words. I think it is not my effort alone. We are all
Yes.
in it together. That's what I keep saying. That it is for us, okay, as a community, as testers. So yeah, and I'm just the medium. So yeah, Thank you so much for all the kind words, and I just hope that you enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Yep, I will.
All
Same to
right,
you.
we will catch up soon then. Thank you.
Sure.
Take care.
Okay.